Give me a second. Working on getting your audio on, so give me a second.
Oh, I unmuted myself. Is it working now?
Oh, now I can hear you. Yeah, okay. All right, good deal. Wes is, he'll be here in just a minute. I just want to make sure everything was functional. So, and I already got it live, so now I got to, we're new to YouTube, so. Ah, there it goes. All right. So yeah, so what we're saying right now will be, it's live right now, but it's okay.
Okay.
Oh, good. I can hear you. Good deal. Okay. Well, give me just a minute and we'll get going. Do you have YouTube up so you can see what's going on too?
I do not.
Okay. If you did, you could see, and my daughter will be running the chat for us. So if anybody has questions or talks or whatever, she can answer and talk to us on that. So we'll be good to go on that. One of our normal, hey, yeah, cool, cool. One of our guys that always listens to us. Yeah, I know you can hear us, but he's laughing because he can hear me.
If I have my tablet nearby, I thought I did. I guess not.
That's okay.
I'm going in blind.
Okay, all right. Everybody that's in the chat, if you just hang on a few minutes, we'll get started. We're just making sure everything's functional, and if you guys are people who normally listen to us, you know how we're. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it's working today, so we're good. So we'll be right with y'all. Just hang on there for a minute. We'll get going. All right, there's a bunch of people already in there, and they updated our video program, so as you see, it doesn't look the same as it did.
Oh, Lord.
It's working, though. It is working.
Well, that's the biggest thing, is we can get it to work.
Yeah. Okay. All right, can we hear you?
Testing.
Yep,
Law.
yep, we got you. We got you. Okay, you got that though. So
Stinky fell down.
Stinky did fall down. That's our mascot. If you'll see it later because you don't have YouTube held up. We've got a stuffed animal that a guy gave us at a convention that is now our mascot.
There's pajama monsters.
Yes.
I'm a fan of mascot.
There you go. Yes, you do. Yeah, I got the one sticker of your mascot over on my quilting box. All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. We'll get going here in just a minute. This is the Nerdy Old Men Podcast, recognized by City View Magazine as best of the best in podcasts. And here are your hosts, the old bald man Chad and Redneck Wes.
East Tennessee allergies have gotten hold of me.
I should have had him muted.
Sorry.
I was starting to cough already. So.
I have fought to try to get over this week, and it's not happening.
Good grief, gee whiz. So the chat is loaded, and we'll get to why that is here in a little bit. But long-time fans of our show, both listening and viewing. And you'll see her in a minute because she's going to have to go shut the door so the dog and the cat doesn't get in here. The return of producer Abby. She's over here, and she's going to be monitoring the chat for us. There's her hand. So producer Abby's back with us again. She's going to handle the chat, so any questions, comments, concerns,
Abby,
smart, aleck remarks that you might have, she can respond to those.
I was fixing to say, I know that Kaylee said that she was going to get on, so if you get stuff about like Young Justice or something, just ignore her.
That'd be her, yeah.
Just say hi, Kaylee, and leave it at that.
Yeah, okay. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen that are in the chat and on our show, thanks for tuning in with us. TikTok is a big thing.
Yes, it is.
And we tried it once and we stunk at it. So
very bad.
I converted our TikTok to just my model stuff. So I stole it. There's still a couple of videos from some of our stuff on there. But anyway, I am a personal fan of this lady and her TikTok account as well as her other stuff. Warboss Mad Sam is what I consider a expert in the hobby that I like, which is Warhammer, and she's really good at the lore of orcs in particular, but also of paint. And I've been painting for quite a while, and I still learned a bunch of stuff from a few of her videos that she just had recently. So she decided to join us all the way from the West Coast. So hey, Sam, you hear us?
I can hear you.
All right, good deal. So, got a whole bunch of your fan base in the chat already with Waz and hey to you and everything else. So. We talked a little bit ahead of time about some things that we wanted to talk about, and we kind of wanted to do a 101 thing because maybe you could give us a little background on how you have your paint knowledge.
Oh, so I work for a paint manufacturer, actually. I manage the consumer products division for this manufacturer. So we are one of two who does aerosol, powder, and liquid paints, anywhere from regular house paint all the way up to high quality industrial specialty, etc. I've been in this role for about 2 years now. I was promoted from being a store manager previously at their store. I've been in retail management since I was like 18. And so I picked it up really quick. I learned about it, and now I manage consumer products, which is the distribution channel from distributors all the way down to the consumers who use the product, packaging, pricing, labels, etc.
Yeah, so you know it all. You've got it all. Yeah. Producer Abby was nodding her head because she is also in retail management. So she manages a American Eagle store here in Knoxville. So she's in the retail management.
I'm just
also.
in retail.
Yeah. You sling Pepsis.
Yes.
You sling Pepsis. But so tell us your nerd origin story. Okay, we want to know how Warboss became.
Awesome. Well, I grew up in the 90s, which is like the best time for this kind of magic,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man. But I also had a dad I have a dad rather, but as a child, my dad really into fantasy. He was big into Monty Python. He was in theater when he was in high school. And then he started reading me The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings as my bedtime story as a kid. Yes. Beautiful. So he would read those to me, and we have an ongoing joke about it like my whole life, because he would like wake me up to finish the chapter. Like that's how involved he was with rereading me. And so when the movies came out, I had seen like the ad for it at the library, and I came home, I was like, Dad, they're making a Lord of the Rings movie. And he's like, oh, that's some old cartoon and it sucks, you know? And I was like, no, Orlando Bloom's going to be Legolas. Like this is, and then it came on the TV. It was like magic. It was like, I like manifested it. He's like, well, we're going to go see that. And that's where it started. I have, a pewter dragon and wizard collection from when I was like 10. He got me Sting that same year.
Ooh. Oh,
so
yeah.
it just kind of evolved from Lord of the Rings on.
Nice. So when does Warhammer come into your world?
Oh man. So in like July of last year, everyone in my house was playing Tacticus, which is the like mobile game.
Yep.
And I kept getting like, well, you know, my mom is better at this than you, and I'm better at games than you. And I was like, well, that's because I'm too busy working and all this, and, you know. And so they taunted me, and so I had to get into the guild and be better than everyone. And so once I surpassed them all, I was like, okay, here we are. And then, you know, getting models for a child's birthday, right? I'm like, well, I'm researching it. And I'm like, okay, I need to know how to paint them and how to assemble them so that I can assist, because at this age, if I'm not perfect at it, I don't want to do it anymore, right?
Right, yeah.
Yes.
And I went down a rabbit hole. I went way down. My buddies were trying to get me into this for years, like since high school. They're like, you'll love the orcs. You love orcs anyway. You will absolutely love them. I'm like, lame. And now I'm obsessed.
No,
so.
yeah.
That was something I was going to ask you. Is like, did you choose the orcs or did the orcs choose you?
Orcs brought me to Warhammer, not Warhammer bringing me to orcs. I already loved them in every fantasy game prior to playing Warhammer. I played D&D in school. I played Exalted, a lot of different tabletop games. Anytime I could be an orc in any fantasy setting, I was one. If it's got green skin, I love it.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yes. So let's get into paint in general. Like I do a lot of painting, and I know I've shown you a bunch of my paint stuff. Wes used to paint once upon a time, and nothing he does, every D&D session we have,
it's plastic.
If it's painted, I did it for him. So
well, unless you go back to the 90s when I was painting, and I started out with Dungeons and Dragons paint,
which he still has,
which I still have.
I'm sure is dried up.
And you can put a little bit of water in it and sort of bring it back to life. But yeah, that was why I learned to paint, and then I kind of got out of it because, life and everything. And then Chad, I got him into 3D printing, and then he became a monster, and then he started painting everything.
It's factual. Yeah, it's all this stuff back here. So, but kind of give us an introductory thing, because I know we have some fans and folks that listen to our show, watch our show, that are getting into miniatures and getting into miniature painting and things like that. What's a good place to start? Kind of give us the differences between the main types of paint, because you talked about that before, where acrylic versus that, give us the rundown a little bit.
Yeah, so there's your classic like enamels. And enamel means that it's oil-based typically. It's a solvent-based paint. And you'll see acrylic enamel, and that's like a weird play on words, because it just has to do with how the finish turns out. It's not technically an enamel, but it gives an enamel finish. So you'll see them calling it a water-based enamel. It's just an acrylic is really what it is. Of these paints, I would recommend starting with water-based paint. As a matter of fact, I would primarily use the water-based acrylic paints for painting miniatures. The solvent-based paints are better for trains, planes, anything like that needs that high gloss finish. If you try to paint like a Warhammer miniature with those, you're going to miss out on a lot of the details, because they're going to fill it in. It's a much thicker viscosity. So I would recommend going first with the water-based acrylics. And then if you want to do a wash over the top, I would definitely recommend like Villainy inks. They're a very thin enamel wash. So it kind of fills into the recesses to give you all those shadows and stuff that you want without losing the detail.
And I have some Villainy ink over there that I haven't got to use yet. I'm very excited to use that for the first time. So we're gonna work on that. You had mentioned something in your video that made me think, and I hadn't thought about it before. When you were talking about water being like the delivery for one type of paint, and the paint basically being plastic. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so paint is made up of several different, it's resin system, pigments, everything else. They have things in it to flatten it, things in it to make it dry slower, right? So like a solvent-based paint or an enamel paint is going to dry faster because that solvent evaporates faster than the water does. And so what people need to understand, like the very most basics about paint is it is colored glue. That's what it is. It's just different types of glue, right?
I don't think I've ever heard it described that way.
No, that's yeah.
Yeah, it is glue. It is. And so basically what you're doing is that water, right, for the water-based paint, that's the vehicle that makes the pigments in the resin system move, that turns it into the wet glue, right, to go onto the substrate. And then it's going to dry, and then it's going to leave you with all of the dry pigment and the resin system that creates that plastic finish over the top. That coats your model or your wall or whatever it is.
So it all works the same no matter what type of, that's the premise of it all, right?
Right, yeah, and you could add xylene or toluene to a oil-based paint depending on what its vehicle system is, if you want it to dry faster or slower. One of the things that when talking to customers, they're like, well, how do I make this paint dry faster? And it's a water-based paint. I'm like, an oven. And they're like, well, what can I add to it? And I'm like, heat. Because it's not, you can't make water evaporate faster than it does without heat. So, when you think about it and you break it down to just the bare bones of what paint is, it's literally a liquid with a bunch of colorant in it. And that's what's going to give you, the vehicle to make the paint move and flow. And then as that evaporates, that's when it dries.
What about the importance of priming or in prepping? We'll stick with models because that's what our folks are interested in. So what would you suggest preparatory wise before they start putting color on stuff?
Yeah, so surface prep is poor surface prep is 90% of all paint failure. That just means it doesn't adhere. And usually if it's not adhering, there's surface contaminants on there. Now, some are better than others. I have never had to do anything special to a Games Workshop model other than take it out, build it, spray the primer, and then go from there. Now, with a 3D print, like the resin prints, there's a wash system that happens afterward. And depending on how good the materials are, you may need to rinse them with water to get any residue off first, because a lot of paints aren't going to adhere to that surface contaminant. And then you're going to see peeling of your paint or lifting, or it's not going to dry properly and hold on and cling to that substrate. All primer is a cheap version of the same thing. So when you're priming your wall at your house, it's literally just a throwaway layer to help you with hide, because it's cheaper than the stuff with the gloss and everything in it that's easy to scrub. So, you don't necessarily need to prime all the time. Your top coat for a wall will cover it. But with this type of plastic, anything that's plastic, you definitely want a primer that will adhere to plastic, because none of these other paints are going to adhere otherwise. They're going to beat up and come off.
And that's something I discovered later in life, was actually priming miniatures. And I think what got me mainly was before I got into, because I played Star Wars Legion competitively for a while, so I was painting those, but then now I've gotten into the GW stuff, which is a lot better. But I'd painted a bunch of Reaper miniatures, like the D&D style ones. Those, I love their stuff, right? I've got a bunch of the paint, love their stuff, but their stuff comes with release powder and contaminants and stuff on there. You have to wash those. You absolutely have to, or they will not. Yeah. They won't take the primer. It's horrible. But so when did you start painting miniatures? Is that like just
September.
That's when you started? Good grief, gee whiz. Again, someone who excels rapidly.
Well, now that was something I was going to ask you. Was your knowledge of paint, did that kind of help you as far as starting to paint miniatures, like understanding how things are going to work and what you want it to do?
Absolutely, yeah. Certain things, certain effects and stuff, it's easier to know if you know how, again, the vehicle, right? If it's alcohol-based, if it's whatever, how it's going to react over the top of another coat, right? I've had a lot of people reach out to me and they go, I'm trying to paint this over my enamel and it's not drying. And I'm like, well, you've got to put the enamel over the water-based paint. The water-based paint doesn't want to adhere to the enamel. It's too glossy, right? It doesn't give it anything to grab onto. But these are just things that I've known from painting. Like, oh, of course I'm going to prime it first. It's plastic. But I know that because I have to tell customers this all the time. No paint adheres to plastic, really, unless it has a primer additive into its paint itself. So just little things like that. Now, as for techniques and stuff, man, I love the internet. Like, thank you to everybody in TikTok for teaching me how to do everything.
Yes, there's some good YouTube channels that I've got. I mean, I got, like, you got me into 3D printing, but I got into the statue painting that I do from a site called Ground Effect that he's a YouTube guy. He's out of England, and he taught me how to do skin color,
the flesh tones.
Yeah, the three different colors to get to the skin tone, and that's some really good. I mean, really good. Abby, you got some you got questions from the chat?
I sure do. I have a couple here. So right now we have 3. Are y'all excited about the series coming out? I'm assuming they're talking about the Warhammer series.
Warhammer series or the there's a
the Lord of the Rings
new Lord of the Rings thing coming up. We'll say the Warhammer series.
We
Let's
might
say the
need
Warhammer
clarification.
Series. So I'm personally excited to see. We did an episode talking about
Cavill.
Cavill. It got it. I mean, this is like our most listened to and watched thing. But what do you think, Sam? Are you excited about the Warhammer series?
Oh, for the show?
Yeah.
1,000%. 1,000%. I enjoyed The Witcher when Cavill was in it.
Yes.
That man knows what's up.
And he knows ball. Yeah, and we were excited to. We've talked about that before. That as I'm learning the lore, I feel comfortable in whatever he's going to produce because we know how he was with the other projects that he's done, wanting to stick with.
Well, it's one of those things where I've said this: you don't have to be a fan of a particular IP if you're going to work on it. But it really does help.
It helps.
It really helps.
Star Wars is a nice case study on how that fails. On how that fails. What else we got over there, Abby?
Okay, I have a second question, and forgive me, Sam, I'm so sorry. I'm not super well versed in the Warhammer world. I know anime and things like that, but not Warhammer. So I might butcher the name, but why are the Krieg
There you go.
the best? Ha ha ha, just kidding. What are some techniques you have found?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it's from the chat, yes. What are some techniques you have found when it comes to models that suits best for you, especially for someone trying to find their own way of painting models?
Oh, man. Get a wet palette.
Yes.
Get a wet palette and thin your paints. Do multiple thin coats versus one heavy coat for everything that you paint. Whether it's your wall, your wood stove, your car, multiple thin coats are going to give you a better finish. You're not going to get those lap lines from your brush.
And that's a hard thing to break, isn't it? That's a hard thing to get in your head because you want it to be colorful right then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so the hide, I mean, I like to paint up from black. If you get a good enough, paint, it's going to have really good hide, and you're going to see color right away. So if your color's coming out, I mean, yellow and red and orange, those are going to take a million coats. It doesn't matter what brand it is. That's just because of the way that the pigments are. But I definitely like wet palette. I use this Masters brush cleaner consistently while I'm painting to fix the tip with my hand to make sure it stays nice and pointy. A lot of people may disagree with me on this, but use a smaller brush than you think you need every time. And biggest thing though, wet palette, 100%. As somebody who works in paint, you want to thin your paints down, maximum 10% water. Make sure you're not adding too much to your wet palette, just enough to get the sponge wet. So
nice. What else we got?
Okay, so I have 2 more. Both are from Immortal No One 2526. What are your goals when it comes to leveling up your painting, and what techniques attract you, and would you like to master?
Oh man. I want to master weathering completely, on my mechs and stuff, all the different weathering techniques. And there's some other like wet blending techniques where they're really colorful, like very rainbow, very prismatic looking. I want to work on that too.
Nice.
And one more for now. When you think about all the Warhammer models, what model would you love to paint and or kit bash the most?
Oh man, what's that giant mega gargant? The
Yeah.
one that's like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, something big, yeah.
No, I have actually like most of the orcs from Warhammer 40K. I still have some I need to build, but I do own most of the models. I'm excited about WAAAAAGHAAAA.
Yeah,
really
that
excited
one.
about it.
Yeah, I
But
was watching that last night. I'm excited about that one too.
yeah, I'm stoked about that. But I just want to collect them all. I think I need to start like diving into Age of Sigmar because they have some really cool stuff. And I like their grots. I like their what do they call them? Gloom Sprite Gits. Yeah.
There you go. Have you looked at any of the Middle Earth stuff from GW? I mean, I don't want to play the game, but boy, the models look good. For like Lord of the Rings
I
models.
feel like they'll be really accurate.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're just not as interesting to me. Like, I think I like the orcs because there's so many details and there's so much. I like armor a lot.
Yeah.
And mechs. So.
And you can do the reason I decided to go with the orcs is because I love how they're just quirky and they kind of everything else, like everything in the Imperium is nice and clean and shiny and stuff like that. And where I'd played Empire in Star Wars, everything was clean and pristine and stuff like that. But the orcs they can do crazy stuff with. And like I got some of the bikes, and you got the little grot holding on to a flag with a with a boxing glove, and I painted the boxing glove pink, like hot pink. And so just because you can do whatever you want to with it, and that's what I really like. In the dirt, and I like weathering, like you said, like the truck I've got spinning around on the table is just rusted all to pieces, and I love it.
And here it was. I thought you just like playing the bad guys.
Well, I do like playing the bad guys, but the orcs are not the bad guys. The orcs are the happiest, most
that's
well
what
put
I've
together
That's what I've
faction
learned
in all
Yeah,
of
it's
40K.
Like they have like an actual
They're happy all the
hierarchy
time.
that works
Yeah.
and like succession.
Or are they
and-
not happy all the time, Sam?
Oh, they totally are. Unless they're not able to fight, that frustrates them a little bit.
And then they just fight each other.
Yeah, they will. They will. I think what I like most about orcs is that they scale really beautifully. So, like, if somebody paints really bad, it just looks more proper orky.
Mhm.
And then if they paint really good, it's just like, oh, that's a really nicely painted orc. But no matter what, it all looks like an orc, and it's all good because it's just proper, right? It's just
It's
exactly
proper.
how they would look. Yeah, if they
Exactly.
painted it themselves.
Well, now that makes me lead into this question though. Like, as far as like painting, I know like with Star Wars Legion, there was a very strict kind of like, okay, this is the palette that you use,
Right.
and everything's going to look the same. And
Yeah.
like with orcs, I mean, do they have to be green?
Well, they should be green.
No.
I mean, could they be blue?
I guess.
I know if they paint themselves purple, they become invisible.
Right.
That's something that I've learned. Because I don't know anything about Warhammer, so I've kind of learned everything in the last week or so, just kind of what I've picked up. But it seems like they are the happy-go-lucky bunch, and it's the whole if you dream it, you can make it real, and just kind of we just got to believe, man.
Yeah, that's what I like. Abby, there's a little question over there.
Yeah, we've got 2 more questions
Awesome.
here so far. Okay, so how do you play your army, such as what detachment do you go with, tactics, etc.?
Ooh. Warhorde.
All right.
Or like the Green Tide. What I like about Warhorde is I can bring in mechs and boys, and I can have a very well-rounded army. So, like, some people will play, like, all beast snagas, some people will play all mechs. But if I bring in Gaz and 20 boys and a Death Dread and Killicans and then my Stompa, like, I'm set. I got everything that I need. So that's how I like to play, just because then I can, no matter what's coming at me, I got something for it.
There you go. All right. All right. What else, Ab?
All right, so most people like to leave their work at work, but your hobby is majority painting as well. Do you feel burnout from that crossover? How do you reconcile the two?
Dang, that's the deepest question we've ever had in
think
the
so.
chat. Gee whiz.
in my job, I talk to people about, like, I troubleshoot paint with them. Like, they'll call me and be like, this is happening. And I'm like, that's because your finger's covering the aerosol tip, ma'am.
Why is my finger red? I don't understand this.
It's not coming out, and I've got color all over me.
What's going on? Yeah. Whereas at home, I get to put the paint into motion. Right. At work, when I'm doing testing, I'm spraying aerosol cans primarily. That's usually when I get involved in the testing process. I've probably sprayed more aerosol cans than like anyone here has in like a week than they have in their whole life. Right. And I don't mind it. Like it's fine. You know, if you forget to wear your respirator, it's really fine.
I've done that building some cosplays before. Yeah.
Yes.
But like at home, it's just, you know, instead of like talking about it and explaining it, I mean, I do to some people, right? But I like to help people. That's like my favorite thing to do. So I'm just kind of enjoying the hobby of actually getting to put the paint into practice and watch it become pretty, right, as the models get finished. So they're totally separate, because what I talk about with people is like really high level industrial stuff. And I'm like, no, you're doing that wrong.
That's awesome. But I love, you know, with models, I love just it's bringing them to life is what I like so much, you know. And I when I first started, I really stressed out over every little detail and trying to get every little detail perfect right away. And then I got to thinking, I was like, wait a minute, I just go back over it.
Yeah.
or else, you know, and you just
that
learn.
was the problem I had, was you wanted to get it perfect on the first pass.
Right. And so what is like the pitfall that you could try to help somebody with that's brand new to painting models? I mean, what roadblock gets into a novice's way that you could give them advice for right now?
Striving for perfection, wanting to be exactly like those people that are on TikTok and YouTube and everything else. What I would let people know, like, there's some painters that I follow that are phenomenal. They have been painting for 20 years. Like, this is a honed skill. No one is perfect at it right away. Nobody does everything the same way. You know, everybody finds their own little niche and tips and tricks. Save your original models. I heard people tell me that, and I was like, But then I'm looking at my first orc and my most current orc, and I'm like, wow, okay, I've really come a long way. You know what I mean? Also, like, you know, make a lot of friends in the Warhammer community, and maybe someone will suck worse than you.
I've always got Wes.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point. It's like,
You ain't first, you're last.
I love entering contests just so I can get beat up and lose.
Yeah. Yeah, you've done all right in a few of them.
Now, my truck came in third
at
this last month's painting competition at the Warhammer store in Knoxville. So I was happy with that. So that was pretty cool. And I've won some for some other things too, but trying to get that Warhammer perfected in there. And I know we got a couple more questions in the chat, but we only do this, Warboss, to people we really like. And you may not be aware of this or not, but we must, because it's the rule.
It is the rule.
Subject you to the Nerdy Old Men rapid fire question session.
She has been ambushed.
Oh, she just scooted back in her chair.
She's like, gotta get away.
I think she's ready. So what this is the dumbest thing we ever do. But
I don't know. We've done some pretty dumb
stuff. But what this is, we're going to ask you some random questions, pop culture questions, and finding out that you're a 90s kid, that's going to be good. Yes. You're going to appreciate this. So we're going to each go back asking you questions. The first thing comes to your mind is your answer. Are you ready?
Yep.
Now, see, she did the same thing everybody does. They kind of hesitate there for a minute.
Like, I don't know.
And she's going to start answering, and she's going to start explaining why she you know, her answer was.
Yes.
And we're just going to pile on. So just be ready.
Just ready. Wes, you can begin.
Okay. I'll softball you this one. If you could be in any other fantasy sci-fi world other than Warhammer, which one are you picking? TVs, movies, doesn't matter. Stop.
What? StarCraft?
StarCraft.
Brand new answer.
Yes, we've
never had that one. That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, apparently, there's a StarCraft miniature game now. I just saw that, so that's pretty interesting. I'm going to take this one from Wes. So again, you're a Warhammer expert, so you got to put that aside for now. So what you're about to go into battle, you must choose a weapon from literature, movies, comics, anything like that, right? What is the weapon you take?
An Agile from Terry Goodkind's Sword of Truth series.
Whoa.
I'm not familiar with
I'm
that
not
one.
familiar with that one, but I got to look that up because
Yes.
that is
Abby's over there going,
that's a deep dive. Where's Abby? Find me a picture.
she's like, I didn't even get put on the spot here.
Go, Wes.
A little stone.
Okay.
That they like the Mordsith wears around their neck, and it like touching somebody with it causes excruciating pain, and the longer you touch them with it, like it'll break bones. It'll like blister their skin, and it's just touching them with it. It's a magical instrument.
Okay, we've just got a new D&D weapon.
Yeah, we got to figure out something.
Yeah, we got to make that happen.
We got to include that into the. Yep.
Poor
Just write
Scott.
that down. All right.
All right, here's one for you. You are on the run. There are keys in the vehicle. Which vehicle are you taking from TV, movies? It can be anything, you know. What?
Furiosa's kill rig. Furiosa's kill rig.
That's the first time we've had that answer.
Yep, it's all violence with this lady. It's just great.
Weird.
It's just crazy. It's crazy. Okay, simple one. Star Wars, Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Oh, I did
Okay.
not see that coming. I figured that.
Yeah, Vulcan. I kind of.
Oh, okay. Well,
I could see that coming from this lady.
It's sci-fi versus fantasy, right?
Okay.
And Star Trek is sci-fi, and Star Wars is fantasy. I
Oh.
like that it is more scientific.
okay, that fair enough. Fair enough.
I think you just gained another fan. My daughter's over here going, yes. All right, Wes, couple more, buddy.
All right. You get to join the Federation. When we get a Star Trek question.
Okay, that's fine.
You get to join the Federation. Which starship are you captaining? Captain.
You're the captain of a starship.
Yes.
Which one is it?
Voyager.
Oh. Why Voyager?
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Okay.
That's fair enough. Fair.
It is. I have multiple models of Voyager, but I like the cells, the like living cells of the ship.
Mhm.
Okay.
But also, it was like my first one. I watched it with Dad growing up.
Okay.
That was what got me into Star Trek.
So there's that
was
connection there. That's something that you and your dad had.
Yep.
See, I always like the
74656.
I always like the
Nice.
Dreadnought Enterprise with the big pulse cannon. You know, it's like we're gonna put an extra nacelle that's just for firepower.
I thought she might go with that, but she threw us a
Yeah.
curveball on that one. She goes, I love the violent stuff, but then again, I've got this other ship that I like better. So.
I don't know. I wouldn't mess with
No.
Kate Mulgrew. She was,
Yep. All right, so I'm going to give her my last question.
this is
and
it.
then you give that one. All right, so this one's a tough one. Wes's is tougher. Okay, so get ready. But you're on a 6-hour car drive. Your radio doesn't function and you have no cell phone signal at all. But you must be taking this trip with a superhero or supervillain. Who's riding shotgun?
Ooh. Okay, the first thing that comes to mind, right?
Yep.
Bane from Batman.
Oh my gosh! You were born in the dark. Or you adopted the dark. I was born in the dark.
It was like the comic version. I mean, he's huge anyway. You just pick it up and carry the car.
Well, that's true.
you
If it
know?
runs out of gas, he can just carry it, right? That again, brand new one.
Yeah,
brand new
We've
one.
never had anyone answer Bane.
All right.
All right, this is the most difficult and controversial question we ask. We have been threatened with bodily violence.
We're not allowed to go to the state of New York.
Yes. And I mean, you may lose followers over this question. So we apologize in advance.
I don't know.
Or you may gain followers. I don't know.
Could. She could.
Does pineapple go on a pizza?
Yes.
Ah!
That is the correct answer. That is the correct answer. I was ready with the trombone, but we didn't have to do it. So
100%.
that's awesome. That is the toughest question that we ever asked. So, but no, that's good. Abby, is there some more questions? I think we got time for a few more.
Yes, we do. We have a few more here. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, there's so many questions. We've never had this many questions in the chat.
We bring in
we
bring in a superstar like this, and we get a bunch of questions.
Yes. All right. Okay. Another question about burnout. Have you ever felt a sort of burnout while painting? I have from time to time. But what are some ways that you avoid that? Or if you do, what have you seen other people do?
So I do get burnout sometimes in painting where I'm like, okay, especially when you're doing horde armies and you got to paint like 10 dudes and you're like, I'm bored of this. I will paint something totally different. I will find something totally different to paint, or I'll take a break and do a bunch of building. Building is actually my favorite part of Warhammer. But like I was kind of getting in a slog with my orcs and stuff, and I painted a Tyranid that my friend sent me, and I was like, this is awesome. Right. And I did a rubric marine and several other things. I'm like, all right, gets me back into it a little bit. So that I can like turn around and go, you know what? Actually, I prefer my orcs.
There you go.
Okay, I have a question though. Like you were talking about going into building to kind of reset. Do you really like doing a lot of kit bashing, or do you stick strictly with kind of part A, B, C, D, or do you just go, here's a big old box of stuff, let's just start picking out random pieces?
Yeah, I've done some kit bashing. I've got more that I want to do. Definitely, I'm going to have to buy some separate sets to be able to get the pieces that I want. But I've done a few, yeah, and I enjoyed it a lot. It was great fun for me to turn, Lord Marshal Helbrecht into an orc was great. That's because cool. It's the Black Templar and they hate the orcs.
Nice.
So it was a lot of fun for me.
Yes. Well, and that was one I sent you a picture, and it was orcs, and they had like these plates in front of them that looked like Space Marines.
Yeah.
And like they're they've got like ill-fitting helmets, and they're like trying to hide behind these.
Well, that is a good thing about the free mini of the month that the Warhammer stores do, is if the chances are it's not even going to be your faction, but you can go and get a free model and work on it and break the monotony of doing. I mean, I have a lot of fandoms, so I bounce back and forth from building orcs to the Sherman tank I'm working on over there to just some different stuff. So I'll be able to bounce back and around. What else you got, Ed?
All right. When you engage your creative side for your hobby, is there ways to get yourself prepared to help get those creative juices flowing?
Yeah, I just look at all of my unpainted miniatures and go, wow.
I got to get cracking here.
So we do a lot of painting lives, and that helps because then my friends are like, when are we going live? And I'm like, oh, God, I have to paint now. Like, I better get everything set up. And then I, panic for a second and be like, do I have anything on my teeth? I'm like, okay. My forehead too big, and then we're down and we're all talking. And so I think because it reminds me of high school when I used to go and play D&D after school and hang out with all my friends, I think that makes it easier to do than painting alone, which is why we always invite people to come and hang out with us, because it's kind of like a podcast if you're just listening while you're painting, but you can still engage in the chat too, kind of like what people are doing here. And that makes it better because you're with your friends, right? So I think that's really what gets me motivated is my friends going, we going live? And I'm like, all right,
So what was your D&D character? Or what was one you remember?
Oh man, I've done quite a few. My last one was an orc druid. And the reason we went there is because my friends were talking about how they could then do fungus, right? In the newer versions. And I love blue cheese dressing, and everyone makes fun of me for it. And they're like, you could have a blue cheese crumble as a familiar. I'm like, you know what? I will.
That reminds me of Jason's. He had the half orc assassin, and he had 2 spells, and it was shrink and enlarge.
Yeah, well, you can do everything with that. We have a guy that plays Stone Cold Killer Brian's a druid, right?
Yes.
And his favorite thing is to
turn into a bear.
Turn into a bear and fall on people. That's like he has more kills by climbing
Death
up
from above,
turning into a bear and falling on people. So
yeah.
Abby, let's give her just a couple more from the chat while we've got some time. Is there any more in there?
We have a couple comments in
Okay,
here. A lot of really stoked people about the pineapple thing. They love it. They're agreeing. And it looks like
Sam for the win.
yeah, Sam for the win. Love Bane, someone said that's questionable. Warboss mentioned one time about orcs not being unique enough, and I agree, says Dylan Brockman.
Okay.
And lots of friends in the chat recognizing each other. We love that. I guess I have a question. Is how fast was it when you started your TikTok journey? Is building that community, because it looks like you have a really strong community, especially in this chat right here.
Oh, dude, the boys are loyal to the WAA. It's a thing. Like, orc players, one thing you'll notice in the Warhammer community is, like, they are, like, in it. Like, they are orcs, right? And so I just came and I was like, hey, and then, like, collecting my boys, right? And being like, oh, you two will get along. And you two will get along. And it was just kind of like, you know, bringing everybody in and being like, all right, I will be the fearless leader here and keep everybody in line. And y'all just have fun now. So, no, they really just kind of connected with each other. Honestly, they just kind of came in to hang out and got to know each other and built these great, big, real friendships. People are meeting each other. I get to meet a bunch of people this year. It's awesome. I can't wait. I'm super excited. One of the things that I made very clear when I started my content is that everybody belongs there as long as you're not a jerk, right? You're here, you're welcome, you can come talk to me. Like, I've talked to people at the Warhammer store and they're like, I'm sorry for bothering you. I'm like, you are not bothering me. Talk to me, please.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just as excited to talk to you as you are to me, because now you're stuck talking to me and I get to just talk forever.
Isn't it fun when you can talk about your fandom, though?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the greatest thing.
That's why we started this. And it's funny, see, like, we've just started doing video stuff. So unless people have come and seen us at, like, when we do live shows at stores or at a con or something, they don't know what we look like, really.
Which is probably for the best.
But, yeah. But I've been in a game store, and I've been talking to the guy behind the counter, and somebody goes, are you Chad from
I had that happen at a store, and he's like, hey, man, are you Wes? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like,
which was pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
He's like, yeah, man, I listen to your podcast. And I'm like, holy cow.
So
your first question wants to be like, why?
Yeah, why do you do that? Yeah, we have people. We have what is it? 12 different countries listen to us every week.
I don't know. We're worldwide. Worldwide.
It's crazy. I'm like, there's some dude in Moscow listens every week.
I have no idea who he is, but he really likes the show.
He does.
I don't know.
All right. We're going to give her 2 more questions from the chat that are already in there, and we don't want to keep her for too long. But
okay. If you could change something about the orcs, what would it be?
She's going to make them purple.
There would be so many more of them.
many more. That is something from the preview show last night that I was like, come on, you show the one super awesome, and then because I commented on your video earlier, I'm like, you show the one boy that's probably the worst one in the whole box.
Right. The whole reason I got into this is because I wanted a collection of orcs to display in my house.
Yeah.
Right? I need boys that look different because I'm going to name them all. They all have a very special place in my heart, just like all of my boys and my WAA. Love you guys.
Yep.
And so I need one that looks different, you know?
Yep.
I want this one to be a little bit bug-eyed and silly, and I want this one to be really chubby and cute, you know? Like, that's what I...
Yes. One of my Gretchen I painted with an Atlanta Braves hat on his head. So I thought I just love that kind of stuff. All right. Producer Abby, one more for her.
All right. A question. This is coming from Rogue9421. A question for me and Mini Warboss. What is your favorite part about Warhammer in general that isn't orc related?
Okay. All right.
Oh, man. You know, I like the art style of the miniatures a lot. Like, I like the armor, especially of, like, the named characters, right? They're, like, the really special, like, Dante from, like, the Blood Angels. Like, I love his mask. I love the meaning behind it. Just, like, the story in general. Anything, like, I'm an avid reader. And so the fact that it has this really great long backstory, and there's, like, way more books than I'll ever be able to read, I love that. So.
Very good. Very nice.
It's always fun to talk to somebody that's very passionate about their fandom. I mean, because you can see that that you really enjoy this, and we really appreciate you taking time to talk to us about it.
Yeah, and we'd love to. You don't have to tell us right now in front of God and everybody. Please don't. But we'd love to have you back on sometime to actually talk about lore and some other things like that. But we did want to, because we have received a lot of questions about painting and things, and I like to do it, but I don't have the
You're kind of like me.
knowledge.
You don't know everything.
I just screw stuff up until it looks okay,
yeah.
you know, and that's kind of where I go from there. But we'll have her back on, and thank you everybody that in the chat, all the questions and things like that. I assure you that the Warboss will go back in and look at the chats on YouTube and potentially answer some of the questions on our own videos and things like that. So, Warboss Mad Sam, we really appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us.
And you might want to just
Thanks
ask,
so much. Thanks for having me.
where can everyone find you?
Yes, because I know you've expanded to some other social media other than TikTok. So where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm most active on TikTok, but I'm trying to get my videos moved over to Instagram. I do a lot of long form, and so they don't put it out to new viewers. So I haven't moved it all over because no one's going to see it anyway. Right. So everything's on TikTok. Most everything is on Instagram, and I'm slowly getting all my new stuff on YouTube and Facebook. So,
all right. Well, if you would hang on to the Zoom call for just a minute after we go off the air real quick, that'd be great. So we appreciate you. And why is that? Whose phone is ringing? Oh my gosh.
Turned off.
Leave it to this guy.
Yeah. Well, we are highly trained unprofessionals.
That we are. So, all right. So, hey, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight. And we really appreciate you taking the time to come and join us and listening to everything Warboss had to say. We were excited.
Yes.
I was a huge fan of her content. I was talking to Wes about it. I said, we got to get this lady on here because she can provide some good knowledge.
I said, do it. And the next thing I know, he goes, hey, I got Warboss Mad Sam on. Okay.
super nice and kind to come on our silly little show. But anyway, so all of y'all, we still have a lot of people that listen to us audio. Mm-hmm. I mean, the majority, like thousands of people listen to us on audio. Just do me a solid, man. If you don't watch YouTube, just go to our YouTube channel and hit subscribe.
Yeah.
Because if everybody that listened to us every single week would subscribe, we'd be doing really good on YouTube. So, I know my voice is amazing and his is mediocre at best. But
yes, but I am handsome.
You do want us to. You got a face for radio, Wes.
Yes, and a voice for print.
Yes. But please do that for us. And we want to thank Warboss Mad Sam and holy moly, producer Abby.
She has returned.
There have been people asking for producer Abby, and she came back for us today. So anyway, thank you guys very much for that. Please like and subscribe and all that other stuff these YouTubers say. And
yeah, like, share, subscribe.
All that stuff. But go follow the Warboss. And let's boost her.
Join what is it? The WAAAAA?
Yes, the WAAAAA.
The WAAAAA.
Don't question the WAAAAA.
I don't know what the WAAAAA is.
We'll have to fix that.
I'm learning here.
We will have to fix that. So until next time, I am the old bald man Chad with the one and only Redneck Wes.
Yeehaw. Abby over there cheer dancing.